What's going on, YouTube? Today I'm going to give my honest full review for the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 3 in 2022. Of course, this is a 2021 device, that came out, and it was very popular, among, those of you out there that prefer a device a little smaller than your average candy bar style phone. Now, everybody don't like a huge phone like I do. I'm a person that like giant phones, 6.9 inches, 7 inches, 6.8. That's just me. The Z Fold 7.6-inch inner display. I like big giant phones, but I wanted to check this one out because, like I said, everybody do not like huge phones. They like something a lot smaller and a little bit more pocketable. So I'm going to give you my full honest review for this device. Now I'm going to give you my pros, then my cons, and then I'll be done. But first, I want to start out with my pros, with the positive things. First thing that I like about this device is the design. Now the design is very nice. Very nice. Small, pocketable device. Really, really, really nice. And the second thing I like is the build quality. Gorilla Glass Victus on the front and the back. The build quality is great. I mean, when you feel this in your hand, it's going to feel like top quality. Now, I prefer a case because even with the great build quality, this phone is a little slippery and it's a little thin. With a case, it gives it just a little bit more thickness for me. Now, I know some people would rather not have a case. They want it thin. They don't want to add no extra thickness, but, to each his own. This phone is just slippery for me without a case. But I definitely like the build quality. The build quality is top notch. Next, I like all the different colors that you can get with this device. Samsung didn't cut anybody short when it came to the colors, except no red and no blue. I don't know what Samsung and other manufacturer companies got against red. I don't know. I don't get it. This would look really nice in cherry red, but it is what it is. So you got the colors like Phantom Black, which I have here, green, lavender, cream, white, pink, and gray. So they give you some nice choices for as colors. Now, I was going to get either the cream or the green, but it just wasn't available at the dirt cheap price that I got for this device. So I had to settle for the Phantom Black. But I do like the fact that they give you a choice with all these different colors. So that's cool. Next thing is the form factor. The fact that this phone is so small and so pocketable. Now, of course, you have it when you open it, it's a 6.7-inch display, but it's just very, very pocketable. Like you could just easily put this in your top pocket. You don't want to put it in something, and it falls out, but you can put it in your top pocket, say if you're somebody, like a nurse or a doctor or something like that. Very pocketable for you putting it in your pockets. You don't have to worry about it, hanging out your pocket. Like for those females that wear pants, and I normally see this all the time, where they have these big giant phones and they have them in their back pocket and they're sticking out really, really bad. This is the kind of phone you could probably fit into those front pockets. If they're not super, super teeny, you could probably fit this type of device in your front pocket. So the pocketability and the size of this phone is really great, especially for those of you that like smaller devices. So the form factor is great. Next, let's talk about the display. The 6.7-inch 1080p HDR10 Plus dynamic AMOLED display. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. 1200 nits peak brightness, 120 hertz refresh rate. This display is by far my favorite thing about this device because Samsung just makes such great devices. Such great displays. And 1200 nits peak brightness is good, even though I have devices that are higher at 1700 nits, and my Note 20 Ultra is at 1500. But this is bright enough for the average person, so you'll be fine with 1200 nits peak brightness. But the display itself is absolutely gorgeous. You will love this display. And the thing I like about it It's tall. You know, I know for some people they may say it's too tall. It really isn't, honestly. Think about it. I mean, all you got to do is slide down with your one-handed mode and you can make the whole screen smaller, okay? And also if you're trying to get to your notifications, all you do is swipe down, your notifications come right down to you. That's why it's called One UI. It's one-handed, friendly. So all you do is just bring everything down where you can get to it. That's all. All you got to do is slide down and all your notifications come down to you. If you would want to reach your other buttons here, you just bring it all the way down. You can easily get to everything. Now, some people say, oh, you know, when I'm, on my home page or scrolling or whatever, I be touching, the crease. Look, I since I've had this device, I never touch the crease. I just don't. Now, maybe just the way I navigate my phone. Everybody navigates their phone differently, but I never touch the crease. And on top of that, you can't even see the crease. So that's something also I like. You don't see the crease. Now, unless you're in direct sunlight, but you can't see the crease if you're just looking at the phone dead on. Now, if you're trying to look at it from some weird angle and all that stuff, you might see it. But even now I'm doing it and I still can't see it. So they did a really good job at hiding the crease on this device. Next thing I like is it has IPX8 water resistance. It's good for 30 minutes at 3 feet of water. That's good. Now it needs to get up to IP68, which is better, but at least it has some water resistance. I believe the prior one to this had no water resistance at all. So the fact that it does have some water resistance is good. So you'll be okay with that. If you're a type of person that's kind of clumsy or you work around water, you'll be good with this. As long as it's not more than 3 feet. So if you drop it in the sink, you drop it in the tub, drop it in the toilet, which I hope you don't drop it there. That's not a good place to drop it. Drop it in the shower or whatever. You're going to be good. All right. Next, the battery life. Now, this has a 3,300 milliamp hour battery. I've seen a lot of videos where there was a lot of complaints about how, people couldn't get through a full day of battery life with this device. I can't speak for other people and what their battery experience is, because I always say it always comes down to how you use your device. Okay. Now I'm using an always on display. I'm using 100% peak brightness. I'm getting all my notifications in real time. I use my phone hard. I'm using 1080, 120 hertz refresh rate all the time. So for me, easily a whole full day. I'm talking 18-hour day and still having like 30% battery left on this device here. And that's being on YouTube, that's watching movies, that's surfing the net, Spotify, like I normally use my phone. I use my phone probably moderate to heavy. Now I don't play games on this now. Now, if you're the type of person that's a gamer, this is not the type of phone you want to use for gaming. It's just not built for that. Okay, the battery's not big for that. Now, you can play some games, but if you one of them gamers, you want to be hardcore gamer, this is not the device to, this is not the device to do that. It's just not. The battery's not big enough. And when you use high intensive graphic games, you're going to go through the battery a lot quicker. If you're somebody also that likes to take a lot of 4K video, you may go through the battery a lot faster. I hardly ever take any photos. I'm not a photo person. I only take photos if I'm traveling or if I'm at a family gathering. Other than that, I don't take photos at all, and I don't really take videos. So it's not an issue for me as far as that. But just using the phone the way I use it, the battery life on here is, I have no issues with the battery life at all. Maybe they could have optimized it a little bit more over the past year with updates and stuff like that, because this phone is definitely still getting optimized. So maybe it's just gotten better over time. But the 3,300 milliamp hour battery is no issue for me. Easily get through a full day with moderate to heavy use. So the battery life is no issue at all. Next, you got the flex mode. Now, the flex mode is nice because it's the same thing I have on my, my Z Fold 2. Now, give me a second. I'm going to put this case back on this device because it's just much easier for me to hold this phone and navigate it. With the case, it's just a little too slippery and thin without the case on it. So I'm going to slide this on real quick, and then we'll get right back to the review. All right, so we good. So when you go into flex mode, let me go to YouTube. Make sure this volume's down. I don't want to have no copyright issues. So, okay, so I'll go into YouTube and say you want to watch a video. All you do is lean it like that. You can still see the video, and you could be down here reading the comments, or you could respond to comments. See? And you can still watch the video. So that's flex mode. So that's cool. I like that. Flex mode, that's what's up. Okay, so you can change this in this format. If you're watching regular video, you can do the same thing. I'll show you that real quick. So if I want to watch, say, this movie here, I turn it over like this and say, okay, now I want to go into flex mode. Let me change the aspect ratio. Okay, hold on a second. I think it's because of the thing I'm using. I'm not using Samsung's thing. Hold on for a second. Let me get Samsung's video thing. It'll probably look a little bit better, a lot different. All right, there we go. In a minute. Alrighty. Let me see here. Gotta change this aspect ratio real quick. All right. Yeah, here we go. So there you go, flex mode if you're watching a movie, and you got your controls down here. Sorry that took so long. So you got your controls down here, and you got your little movie screen there. So flex mode is cool. I really like flex mode a lot. And as you can see, the display is beautiful. Now, I usually use the crop because I want to use the full display. But you can see it's absolutely beautiful. It's gorgeous, rich colors. It's nice and bright. It's vivid. Love this display. I love it. I really do. Alrighty. So, love flex mode. Next is the dual stereo speakers. Now, I'm sure you already seen a lot of videos on this already. But I'm going to be honest with you. The speakers on here are really, really good, especially for this small device, this form factor. The speakers are really good. Now, they're not on the level as my Note 20 Ultra, of course not, but these sound good for the average person that wants some good sounding speakers. You're not going to have an issue with these dual stereo speakers on this device. They do sound good. Not great, but they do sound good. Next, you get your Google feed to the left. Now, you can disable this if you want to, just holding this down, going here, and then just turning it off if you want to do that. And you do have a choice between Samsung's free, thing or the Google feed. But I kept it on for the video. So if you're the person that likes having the Google feed, you can turn it off or you can leave it on. And I do like the Google feed. It's nice to have the option to use it. And I like the fact that you can turn it off. So I don't normally read it. Sometimes I do here and there, but if I don't want it, I can just turn it off. So I like that. Next thing, you can play videos on the cover screen. Now, of course, the cover screen is really small, as everybody knows. It's really small, but you can actually play YouTube videos on that cover display. Now, you can't play videos from the Samsung app yet. I guess they haven't optimized it for that yet, but YouTube videos you can. Let me show you how that's done. So, let me show you how that even happens to begin with. Excuse me. So you want to go into Good Lock. That's Samsung's Good Lock right here. You want to press that. And you want to scroll down till you see Multi-Star. See it right there? Multi-Star. You want to hit that. Then you want to hit Galaxy Foldable. See, rotate portrait with our best. Not that. You want to keep scrolling. Cover Widget Launcher. See, Cover Launcher Widget. You click on that. And that's what you can add. See, Cover Widget Settings. You can add that to the front display, and you'll be able to play YouTube videos with that cover display. So I'm gonna go back in here. Let me see. All right, so I already got something open in here. So I'm gonna close this. I'm going to open this up. So I'm going to scroll over till I get to it. Then I'm going to show it to you. See it right there? YouTube. So all you do is click on that. Now I just got to open it back up. All right. And I got to play the video. And I'll turn it off. Now I got to just go back to it because it's already playing. Show it to you. Let me see. Here we go. To launch application, please. Oh, I got it. I forgot. After you press that, you got to hit the fingerprint sensor. I'm sorry. You have to press the fingerprint sensor. See it right there? Now you got to turn it around because it's just too small to see that way. See, now you can see it. It's small, but I mean, at least it's an option. I wish it was actually, I wish it could fill. Okay. So it can fill that screen, but you can see that that's cool. They just got to make it so you could use it for, more applications. You could also play games on this thing, which is kind of crazy too. All right. So it gives you the option to play games on it. Let me show you that real quick. Let me go back into Good Lock. I just want to show you that quick. Now, I don't know why you would play games on a screen that small. It doesn't make any sense to me, but that's crazy. So you go back to this screen here. You press this plus, and they basically show you here all the stuff that you can use on that cover display. You see only YouTube as far as video is concerned. Everything else is games, but I don't know why you would play a game on something that's small, but you can, just to let you know. All right, so that's cool that you could play, YouTube videos on that cover display. Next, of course, Samsung's usual One UI features such as edge panels, edge lighting, secure folder, good lock, Samsung Pass, nearby share, one-handed mode, Bixby routines. All the things that you get on your typical Samsung device, you get them on this device. The only thing that's missing, which shouldn't be missing, especially for the price point of this, when it first came out, it was $1,000, is there's no Samsung DeX. Now, I know most people, and I can't say most, I know there's some people that don't care about Samsung DeX. They're never going to use it. But based on that price when this phone was released, it definitely should have had Samsung DeX because that's flat. $1,000, anything $1,000 and above is flagship prices. I would say anything from $800 up is flagship. And this definitely should have had Samsung DeX, honestly. So you don't have that, but all your typical Samsung features and being highly customizable, you have all that packed on this device. So you're not missing out on anything except Samsung DeX. Next is the performance. Now, the performance with this device has been great. It has a Snapdragon 888. No issues when it comes to performance at all. It opens everything up nice and smooth. The animations are nice. No issues with that. Everything is just nice and snappy. No issues at all. I love how fast and fluid this phone is. No issues at all when it comes to performance. Everything works really, really well. So no issues when it comes to performance. Performance is very, very good. Next, the Next Pro software update. So this thing is going to receive Android 13, 14, and 15 and 4 more years of security patches. So if you decide to get this, you're the kind of person that holds onto your phone more than 2 years, this phone is going to be good for a while. You're going to have no issues at all with this for a while, seriously. You might end up getting One UI 7 because you're going to get One UI 5, One UI 5, 6, and 7. Yeah, you're going to get all the way up to One UI 7 plus 4 years of security patches. So this phone is going to be good for a while. And that's good news for those of you that don't switch up phones every year like some people do. Everybody can't afford to be changing up phones every year. They just want to know if they get a phone, it's going to get supported for the foreseeable future. It's going to get optimized. It's going to run smoothly. it's going to actually get better over time. They're going to add more features and stuff to it. That's what they want, and they want to make sure that it also is going to be secure. So you're not going to have to worry about that with this device. And the next thing that I like, and the last thing, is the cameras. Now, it only has the camera here on the inside. You got your puncher, that's your selfie. And then you have your two cameras out here on the outside. Now, I wish it had a telephoto lens, but it don't. But I will say the pictures and the videos for the most part on this look pretty good. I don't have any issues with the camera per se. Like I said, you know, I have other phones that I mainly use for, you know, use the cameras on, like my Note 20 Ultra and my Mi 11 Ultra. Those are my camera phones. So when I want to take pictures, those are the two phones that I go to. Those are my two best phones when it comes to cameras. Now, I do have other phones that got decent cameras, don't get me wrong, but those are my two favorites, okay? But the cameras are really good, but I'll let you judge for yourself what you think of the cameras on this device. So stand by for some samples of the cameras on this device. All right, so now let me get into the cons of this device. Now, it's a few. I do have some issues with this device, okay? First thing that is a con, and it's a huge con. Now, I know some people say, well, this ain't the biggest deal in the world. This is the biggest deal in the world to me because I've been with Samsung now for about 10 years at least, if not longer. And this is a major, major big deal to me. My first con, that is no expandable storage. There was absolutely no reason for Samsung to remove such a great feature on their smartphones, and that's disgraceful. For a phone that costs $1,000 and you started out at 128 gigs with no expandable storage and don't even offer a 512 gig variant, no, that's weak. And if we just keep accepting this and putting up with it, they're not going to put it back on their devices. We have to complain. We got to say something. If it takes going to a different company, do what you have to do to get their attention to put such a great feature back on their smartphones because we need it. If it's still on they're still putting it on their tablets. So why can't you put it on your smartphone? Makes no sense to me at all. So that's the first thing. Next thing is the fingerprint sensor is up too high. See, it's way up here. Now, this is the way I'm holding my phone. The fingerprint sensor should be right here where my thumb is. And I'm going to tell y'all this, and this is just my opinion. Everybody has their opinion. I don't like side-mounted fingerprint sensors. I like fingerprint sensors on the display. Now, you don't have to agree with that. You don't have to, say, well, I disagree. Well, if you disagree, you disagree. That's you. I just don't like side-mounted fingerprint sensors, and I don't like the fact that it's up this high, and I got to stretch. Everybody don't have large hands. I have medium to large hands, but I don't like having to stretch up here like this just to open my phone. I don't like that. It should be right here. And the volume rockers are up way too high. They way up here. They're above the fingerprints, so they're way too high. So I wish it was down here, and the volume rocker should have been here, but the fingerprint sensor should have been here. So the fingerprint sensor is just up way too high along with those volume rockers. They're just too high. I don't like it. And I prefer, like I said, an in-display fingerprint sensor, but that's just me. Next, the front display is too small. Now, $1,000. This is a flip phone. Now, this is bigger than what they had when they first came out and the one before this, but this is still too small. You can't even respond to text messages or anything like that. Either this thing should be the whole front or it should be at least way up here. So you could have more, you could do more with the front display. This display is just too small. It's just too small, seriously, way too small. Sometimes it'd be nice if you didn't have to open your phone all the time. If the display was much bigger on the front, you could just watch videos, you could respond to text messages, look at your emails, read your emails, and do a lot of things without even having to open a device up. Now, maybe Samsung's idea is to force you to flip it, but we should open the phone if we choose to. But why can't we just have a bigger display? This display is just too small. And the Z Flip 4, same thing. The display is the same size. The whole phone is the same size. They didn't even increase this display, this cover display at all. So I don't like how small that cover display is. I don't like it at all. Next, and I already said this earlier, no Samsung DeX. That's unfortunate. It should be based on the price point of this device when it was released. Next, now this is one of the biggest things that really bother me about this device, and I know there's been improvements with the Z Flip 4, but the battery charging speeds on this device is disgraceful and horrendous. It takes so long to fully charge this device from 0 to 100%. Seems like it takes forever. Seriously, feel like it takes for almost 2 hours. It's crazy. 15-watt wired charging. That is not fast. 15 watts, that's a joke. There's no way that this should have came out with 15-watt charging when it was first released. Should have been minimum 25. But 15? Look, this ain't the kind of device you want to plug in the morning before you go to work. Unless you get up and give yourself at least 2 to 2.5 hours before you leave out. This is the kind of device you want to charge overnight because it charges very slow. And the wireless charging is even worse at 10 watts. And they had the nerve to call that fast. There ain't nothing fast about 10-watt wireless charging. Nothing at all. That's disgraceful as well. And then it's nice that you do have the reverse wireless charging, but that's only 4.5 watts too. So I don't like the charging speeds on this device at all. They're pretty bad. Next, no flagship cameras and no telephoto lens. Now, the reason why I'm saying that, now you saw the camera samples for yourself. You can see that it takes really, really good pictures and video. But the fact is, it was $1,000. So it should have had flagship cameras on this phone because of that flagship price. And not having a telephoto lens may be an issue for some. I wish it would have had it. It would have been nice, but it doesn't. But not having no flagship cameras on here for that, and charging $1,000, that wasn't cool by Samsung, not at all, based on that price. And the last thing, the presentation. The presentation for this device and Samsung's devices moving forward for the last couple of years has been absolutely a joke. An absolute joke. You get no charger in the box, no case, and no headphones. It's ridiculous. $1,000 and you get nothing in the box except a charging cable? You must be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. A charging cable? I can't even get a charger. And you got other companies out there like Vivo, like Xiaomi, that at least give you a case in the box and a charger. Now, the X Note is the next phone I'm going to get. I got to have that phone because I like that phone. You getting headphones. You getting a great presentation. You getting a case. And you getting an 80-watt charger in the box. In an awesome presentation. I can't wait till I get my hands on that device and unbox it. Then you'll understand why we're getting so screwed over by Samsung with these horrendous presentations. They're horrible. You only unbox your phone once, so you want a great presentation, especially if you're spending $1,000 plus tax. And I can't even get a charger. I can't get one clear case. I can't get a pair of headphones. Like, are you kidding me? You already took away expandable storage. You took away the headphone jack. You don't give me there's no IR blaster. You give me this teeny little display up front where I can't really do a lot with. I mean, you can get your notifications. If I failed to mention that, yeah, you can get your notifications. You double tap. You can see them, but you can't really do anything with them. Now, you do have other widgets that you can, get into. You can control your media. Right there, you get a full calendar, which is cool. You can see the weather widget. Today's election day, so you got a reminder for that. You got your step count, your people you call the most. You could do that too. Set alarms. Timer, and this is the cover launcher that I, told you about, and you can also always add more. But come on, it's just too small. It should be a lot bigger than this. It's just that display is just too small. $1,000. This phone honestly should have been $700, and I'd have been cool with those things that are missing. Except for the charger. The charger still should be in the box, and one case shouldn't hurt because you have other phones out there that have, the $200 devices that give you a case. I've unboxed blue phones that give you you really get a unboxing experience. Now, you don't get a fancy presentation, but you get a real unboxing experience. You get headphones. You get a charger. Okay? You get a microfiber cleaning cloth. Okay? You get a case, a nice case. Okay? You get the charger. And you also get, a screen protector. You get like 6 things in the box, and that phone was $200. And $1,000, and I can't even get a charger? That's ridiculous. Totally ridiculous. But for you for you guys out there, they are Samsung fans, and y'all gonna buy their devices no matter what they do, no matter what they take away, no matter what they don't give you. More power to you. I'm just not that dude. I'm all about value. Now, if you get this phone for under $400 and it's like super dirt cheap, and you're okay with not having those things, then I'll say get it. No problem. See, you could swallow that price. You can kind of deal with not having those things if you pay less than 400. Then you won't be so upset. But if you're the type of person that paid $1,000 for this and you got nothing but a charging cable, I don't know how you could be happy with that, honestly. Unless you got some kind of really great trade-in, I don't see how you could be happy with that. Because that should not happen. A charger is the least thing they could put in the box. Now, I'm going to say this, and I don't know if Flossie Carter brought this up in one of his videos saying black people don't be throwing away chargers. I don't know that for certain, but let me tell you this. I got a ton of chargers, and I haven't thrown away not one of them. The only charger that I've thrown away over the last 10 years is the charger that stopped working. I keep my charger, so there is no danger. I'm not endangering the planet or causing filling up landfills with chargers. No, I keep all of my chargers. So I don't throw away chargers. I got plenty of them. I got at least, if I had to count, I got about 15 chargers, maybe more. But the fact that it don't come in the box for that price is ridiculous. But once again, now, in my conclusion, do I recommend this device? Yes, for those people that like smaller phones and you want something that's a little more pocketable. And it's small, it's pocketable. It has a great display. It has really good battery life. It has great speakers. It takes really good photos. You have all of those features, like I said, except for Samsung DeX. And, I think it's a good device, especially now you can get it under 400 bucks. So I do definitely recommend this device. It's going to get updated for the next 3 years and security patches for the next 4. So I definitely recommend this. But I wouldn't recommend this at all at $1,000 for what for what's missing. I definitely wouldn't. But you can go on Amazon and find it for under $400. You should grab it immediately, especially if you want something smaller and that's more pocketable. See, now you can see there when you get, I think I made it go away when you get your notifications. You can get all you do get all your notifications on this cover screen as well. And you could also change this and put a picture, or you could change this to look different, where it's like a little animation. You can do that when you go into Good Lock and, go into wallpapers. You can do some things with this cover screen. But it's just, to me, it's still too small. So Samsung really need to make this whole front a display, or at least bring it all the way up here. So you could, really do more stuff on that cover display without having to open the phone. But that was my full honest review of the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 3 in 2022. Hope you guys are staying safe and staying well. Please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. And hit that thanks button if you would like to support the channel. Hope you guys are staying safe and staying well. And I'll check you guys out in the next one. Peace.